Do you struggle to keep track of your auditions? You got Actors Access, Casting Network, Casting Frontier, Backstage, Casting Up. How are you supposed to keep track of everything across half a dozen different casting sites? When's the audition due? When are callbacks? Have you auditioned for this casting director before? When does the job shoot? When does it pay? If you've ever been stressed out by one or more of these questions, I have a solution that has worked for me, developed over years of hundreds of auditions, callbacks, and gigs. Stick around while I give you a tour of my tracker, and if you make it to the end, I'll give you a link where you can get a template where you can use for your gigs. But for now, and I miss saying this, kick the intro. Awesome! So yeah, welcome back to the Tommy Vlog. I know it's been quite a while. Really sorry about that, but I just needed to take a break for a while to address some things related to my mental health. I will get to that. Just know that I'm back. I'm feeling better than ever. In fact, I'm crushing it. Over the last few months, a lot of people approached me asking, like, when are you gonna go back to doing the vlog? And I always kept telling them over and over again, I'm gonna get back to it. I swear, I got a couple episodes like in the hopper ready to go, and it was just a matter of me writing them down and shooting them. Truth be told, I actually wanted to do my video on this audition tracker for a really long time, especially as all the strikes were coming to an end, or the anticipated strikes never ended up happening. I was starting to get auditions flooding in. I just needed some time so I could get all my stuff in order so I could start working on fun projects like this. Quick housekeeping, you will notice that the format is a little different from the videos I've shot before. I'm trying something out. This is a little easier to set up. I know the video quality isn't perfect, but if you like the way this all looks, let me know. So to start us off, I'll pull up my audition tracker and we'll get into that. So this is my audition tracker. It's a very extensive document I've put together over the last couple years of auditioning and doing gigs. It includes every possible bit of information I could need about the gig, all consolidated in one place. The name of the audition, the type, who sent it to me, what date the audition's due, what date the gig is, if there's callbacks, all that kind of information. It even includes information about pay and how I pay out my agent and my manager that I've got little formulas in the spreadsheet to calculate for me. Honestly, I have 5 different casting profiles to include all the auditions that I get out of like social media and emails, so keeping track of all the irons that I have in the fire can legit get impossible sometimes. And it's not to say I'm like always rolling in it. Like some days I don't get an audition for an entire week or two, but other days I get 3 or 4 in a day. It really just depends on how the industry's going. Regardless, it constantly seems like I'm juggling a lot of information that I cannot just remember all on my own. Side note, why are there so many casting profiles out there? Like this is ridiculous for actors. Anyways, I'm sure you want to see it in more detail, so let's pull it up on the full screen. All right, so I know this seems like a lot of information, and it kind of is, but I will break this down as best as I can. I will also include a link to a clean copy on the video description where you can download something like this, and you can start filling out all your own information. So here I have all of my auditions, all my gigs, callbacks, everything in just one spreadsheet. You'll notice right down here, it says calendar 24 year, the active sheet. I have one for calendar year 23. Everything you see at the top here, the green, are all gigs that I booked or basically completed at this point. There's a couple that I think I'm still waiting on pay for, but the important part is that once I book something, it's green, it goes to the top, it's at the very front of my knowledge. Anything you see here that's red and crossed out, those are all the auditions that I sent up, and based on time, I have just considered that I was passed. And you'll notice it says passed, so if I am to go in here, right, and I say to waiting, but after long enough, I'm like, you know what, it was supposed to shoot in January, it's August, I was passed. I click past, boom, automatically formats it to crossed out. And you'll notice as I keep going down in the list here, I'm gonna start to get to things that are still in black, things that are even green that need to be sorted. So basically this kind of auto sorts itself. I have the green stuff on top and I have everything underneath that in ascending date order. Right now, this says 9 July, right? But say this, I was wrong, it's actually 9 August, and I put that like that. Now the way I have this document sorted is a custom sort where I have the green on top and then cell values, dates, oldest to newest on the bottom. Once I make that change, I hit that, now it's gone back here, 9 August. Now say it was 9 September and I want to move it down. Quick way to do that is I can just go, say now I want to make it 9 September. So now it's 9 September, I just hit reapply up here and boom, now it goes to the bottom. So now I have the auditions. So for instance, I have this audition right here. It's got the title and it's got the link to it. You can see the link right here. If I were to double click it, it's going to take me to the webpage. It's going to take me to Casting Frontier where I would log in to see the link. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to show you the audition information. It's got what type of audition it was, whether it's commercial, theater, short film, web series, film, whatever. I have the name of the character. So for this, Dad, and it's for commercials, I'll usually put like principal or supporting, or for a TV show, I'll put recurring, or a film, I'll put, you know, lead or supporting, whatever. Where it's from, Actors Access, Casting Networks, Casting Frontier, etc. Who got it for me, whether it was my agent, my manager, or if I self-submitted or I got it in an email. What the pay rate is, very important for calculating stuff towards the end. Whether it's union or non-union, oftentimes non-union, but if it's SAG-AFTRA, if it's a SAG micro budget, I can throw that in there. whether or not I have accepted the audition. So I will put stuff in here that I have declined for specific reasons. And usually when I do decline something, I'll include a note here. I passed on this role because they nixed the pay once they sent me on the audition. If I ever want to remember, hey, why did I pass that? I'll look at this. When the audition's due, the date, the time, and whether I submitted it. And for this, you'll notice it says I didn't submit it, right? And it's coming up, but I did submit this yesterday. I just didn't update it to yes. Since it's due today, it's going to be in red until I type yes, and then boom, it goes away. Say this audition right here, the untitled short film, say that's due in 2 days, 20 August, and I have not submitted it yet. I'll put no, it's going to turn yellow. What if it's due tomorrow, 19 August? 1 day away, it's red. What if it is now due today, like it was before, 18 August? It turns red. This helps me see which crocodile is closest to the boat so that I can work on the audition. And once I type yes, it goes away. The type of casting director. So I have all of the casting directors that I have auditioned for here, and I have a list, basically conditional formatting. It highlights which casting directors I've had in the past. It'll highlight them green. So you'll see Block M Casting, they sent me 2 auditions right back to back. They seem to like me. That way, when I get an audition, especially if it's like across platforms, I will know I've auditioned for this person before. How they want the audition submitted, whether they want it back in an email, a casting site, sent via WeTransfer. There's a callback, any callback information goes here. A date range that they're shooting for, this usually comes from the audition information. Where in the world it is, LA, Louisville, Kentucky, unknown. Whether or not I've accepted it if they've offered it to me, and where the production is in the status. So you'll notice I have a callback pending here. Most of them are either awaiting or passed, but if I get cast in something, you know, I'll be put on a veil, I'll be pinned, turned down, I declined it, it's shooting, it's completed, etc. Whenever I pick anything that is not awaiting or NA or passed, there is some sort of formatting for it. So pinned is going to be normal. A veil is going to be normal. Once I'm cast in something, ta-da, it turns green. Shooting stays green, completed, green. And then I can reformat it and it goes to the top. Or if I was declined it, turns red. If I've turned it down, turns red. If I've been passed on it, turns red. All this is automatically formatted. So if you download your template, it's pretty much going to do all that for you. And then for these, this is all where I put all the payment information. For the stuff that I was obviously passed or waiting, there's nothing here for yet. But for the top, I have the dates that the shoot was confirmed for, whether or not I did a W-2 for it, how they were paying me out, whether or not I've received the pay, what the net pay to me is going to be, and then the payouts to my agent and manager worked out via my agent and my manager. So there are specific rates that they take. There are certain jobs that they do and don't take from. I coordinate all that with them. So if they're not going to take something from me and I've already talked it over with them, I put in NA in the column. If they are going to take something, you'll notice some fun little math here. That's going to calculate what the rate was for that job. It's going to spit out what I need to send them or make sure that they get, and then boom, the final amount that I get paid. So yeah, big spreadsheet. You'll notice lots of columns. It goes all the way into AB and lots of rows. I've had about, it looks to be about 100, probably 113, 112 gigs that I've done just in calendar year 24 alone. Complicated as it looks, this keeps me on track better than anything any website that I've ever done has been able to help me. I keep it updated religiously. And at the end of the year, this is a lot of good analytics for me so that I know which casting directors, I know how many auditions I did, I know which platforms are the best. I can see what I'm getting cast in and whether or not there are any trends with that. It helps me. I hope you guys like it so it can help you. So if all that seems like something that you might like to have, I'll include a link in the description where you can download a copy of the template. It'll be a clean version where you can enter all your gig information and get started easy. If you're good with Excel, you should be able to figure it out pretty easily, but if you're not, or you have any questions or have any suggestions for updates, put them in the comments below. I will take a look at them and I will address them as quickly as I can. And with all that out of the way, we move into the vlog portion of this video. So yeah, as I was saying before, you'll notice that I haven't posted in a really long time. As I said, I did it so I could take a little mental health break. I needed to limit the amount of commitments that I had in my life. There was a lot of stuff going on. I was making a lot of changes and I just didn't have any extra time for some of like the nice to-dos. I wanted to make sure I was still focusing heavily on acting. I wanted to make sure I was focusing on spending as much time with my family as possible and as much time as getting myself to a place in life where I thought I could be happiest. In that amount of time, I had a lot of big updates. I quit drinking. I quit smoking cigarettes. I got back to working out pretty consistently. I stopped taking a bunch of medications that were straight up killing my mind. And then I got on the right medications that were helping me stay focused in ways that were healthy for me. So I've been basically sober since January, and I gotta admit, it is literally the best decision I've ever made in my life. The clarity which I have is unparalleled. I've been able to focus on my goals. I get better sleep. It's not amazing sleep, but it's better quality sleep than I used to be getting before. Because I remember even just having a single drink and I would wake up feeling, ugh. Even if I didn't feel drunk the night before, I was not in it the day after. And my wallet has certainly thanked me for not blowing my money on cases of booze and cartons of cigarettes. That's not to say that it was easy. I definitely do not want to belittle people who have challenges with sobriety or have challenges with staying clean. It was definitely difficult at times. It was the best decision I ever made, but it certainly was not easy. And there have been many times where I've wanted to pick up a drink. I haven't. But it was really awesome when I could get to the point where I could look at a glass of wine or bottle of beer in front of me and straight up just make the decision, I'm not going to drink that. That amount of self-discipline, I don't think I've ever, especially for those of you that know me, I don't think I've ever been able to like actually do that, to look at something and say, I want it, but I'm not going to do it. Not because it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. It's just because I know that I don't want that right now and I don't want to do it. I want to be disciplined in this regard. So the fact that I have finally gotten to that has made everything else in my life so much more elevated. Gonna try going at this for a year, see if I can sustain that, and then we'll see where we go from there. I don't think I'll quit drinking forever and ever and ever, but I for sure know that I'm not going to make it as much of a habit as it has been throughout my life. Also, I became SAG eligible. I worked a co-star for a part in a streaming series. I can't really say much about it, but it started as an under 5, and then I kind of worked it into a full-blown co-star. And I can't say much about the show, but basically I was playing a Marine, and when I showed up, I walked over to the director and I was like, hey, you know, this is what you wrote, but this is how I would probably do it. I was wondering if, and the guy straight up says to me, look, man, I wrote the episode myself. I don't care what you do to it. Just make it look good. Here's the first AD. You're going to tell him everything that you want to happen. He's going to make it happen. You look at me, give me a thumbs up. I'm going to say action. We run the scene. So the dude gave me carte blanche to run it. So on top of knowing stuff about the Marines and knowing how to act, I finally get there and they're basically letting me direct the scene for them. And it turned out awesome. It was such an amazing day. The cast and crew were awesome. It was a really emotional and impactful scene, so I can't wait for it to come out. And the funny part is, I didn't even want to do the audition when I got the gig. I don't know. I was feeling uninspired in life, so something came across my way that was perfect for me, and I just kind of like poo-pooed it. If it wasn't for the casting director continually hounding me, saying, hey man, I want to see your audition, send it to me, probably wouldn't have done it. And then once I sent it in, I got cast pretty immediately, and the rush of getting everything to go was just crazy. I mean, I had to go get contracts done like quickly. I had to go to the fitting, and then the shoot happened. And oh my goodness, being a co-star on a streaming series, showing up, here's your trailer, right this way, Mr. DeVries. It was the most amazing feeling, and it completely solidified exactly why I'm doing this. Months and months of auditioning and rejection was all worth it in just one day of getting to do the thing that I love the most. I was super glad I followed through on it. It was living the dream, and it got me my SAG eligibility. It's awesome. I get to put that up on my casting profiles. I have access to so many more auditions now. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes. Also, speaking of the Marines, quick update on the Marine side. As a lot of you know, I'm still in the Marine Corps Reserves. I'm no longer active duty, but I do serve the reserves in a small capacity. And I got selected for major. Something I didn't expect to happen so soon. I wasn't selected on the active duty side before I transitioned out, and I figured I'd be doing this job for a while, and then maybe one day it would happen. But damn if I won't admit that it was a real shock to the system when I saw that list come out with my name on it. So to all the people who helped me and supported me and believed in me throughout the last decade of my Marine Corps career, thank you. I am indebted to you. You all know who you are. I would not have survived as long as I did as an officer in this job if it wasn't for you. And that is to include all of the other people who supported me, such as my peers, my friends, and the Marines that I worked for. All of the junior Marines and the NCOs and the staff NCOs that I got to observe during my time. It was always a blessing. I was only there because of you guys, and I love you. And to all the haters, I made it to the next level. Die mad about it. There are so many more updates I want to get to, but I feel like this video is going to be super long, so I'm going to lock it up at this last one right here. A month ago, I was cast as core background on this show called The Pit. Basically a spiritual successor to ER, kind of shot like 24. I kind of look at it more like a rated R Scrubs. It's being shot on Warner Brothers lot for a streaming service, and I'm pretty sure that's all I can say about it right now. You can read about the show in the trades if you want. It's a really interesting concept. I'm not sure I can say what role I am, but suffice it to say, I'm on the show for the entire series. Because the show takes place in a single day, every single person from the highest person on the call sheet to the lowest background artist, everybody is there pretty much every day for the entire show. So what does this mean? I'm on a Hollywood set shooting a series until February. I am a working actor for over 6 months. I get to spend the time watching the principal cast do what they do, watching the crew work and set up scene and scene and scene and go for shot after shot. I get to be on a set every day watching the professionals at work. This is it, man. People move to this city looking for a shot like this, and they spend years trying to get something consistent, and they can't. And I just have to look at this and go, I'm probably one of the luckiest people in the world. Not only do I get to do this job every day in some small capacity, but I get to watch the professionals at work. It is a free, screw free. It is a I'm being paid to observe a masterclass from July to February. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. The amount of people pay for acting classes to get what I'm being paid for to do. I'm the luckiest person in the world. And when I don't have to be on set doing what I do, they have us in holding and I'm catching up on journaling, I'm catching up on reading, I'm writing this episode of this devlog. Every single day is as productive as it possibly can be. And I'm really excited to see how this show turns out, because based on what I'm observing, this is going to be an amazing show. And you're gonna love it. Not just because yours truly is in it. Eats waiting tables. Anyways, that's it for this one. If you stayed till the end, thank you. Thank you for listening to me ramble, as you always have done. I hope if I haven't heard from you in a while, you can reach out or you can write some thoughts in the comments. Please do like the video if you stayed all the way to the end and you appreciated these updates or the tracker. Please put in the comments if you have any ideas for the tracker or you have any ideas for future videos. I'll be sure to post more consistently. I think I do want to get back to the weekly posts as long as I have some ideas to talk about that are interesting enough and engaging for you guys. Don't forget to download that template in the video description. I certainly learned something today and over the last 8 months. I hope you learned something as well. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, take care.